Well, if you're looking for a great girls' night out event, then you should absolutely consider the theater, and one performance in particular, in fact.
That's right. Every woman can relate to something in Love, Loss, and What I Wore, which is playing in Scottsdale right now. And we are so honored to have Loretta Swit here to talk about it and to be here with us. Welcome to Sonora Living.
Thank you.
Well, we're so appreciative of you literally making your first stop here.
It is my first stop. Absolutely. I got in last night, unpacked, got my clothes out to wear depending on the temperature, and here I am the next morning.
Well, your name and honestly your face and voice, it's just one of those very recognizable.
Oh, yes.
Voices,
oh, yes.
faces,
My
names.
favorite story was walking into a store one day with the biggest sunglasses I could find. So literally, you could see about this much of my face.
It's the
and
voice.
And the woman behind the counter said, I hadn't even said anything.
Oh.
So a woman behind the counter said, hold it, wait it, stop right there. I know that mouth.
Oh my gosh. Well, what was your nickname again?
Hot Lips.
Hot
Lips Houlihan.
Obviously.
Hot Lips Houlihan. Well, we'll double back to that,
sure.
But I really want to talk more specifically about Love, Loss, and What I Wore, because
sure,
this is really your heart and soul right now.
This is why I'm here, yes.
So tell me about this.
Love, Loss, and What I Wore as a series of monologues and vignettes, except for me. The wonderful company, 5 of us, talk about or relay stories that have to do with what we were wearing, or what we were buying, or how we feel about clothing, and it's all wardrobe related. However, you kept saying, you know, women are going to relate. Yes, of course they do, but the men out there, I mean, the guffaws we get from the men who are relating, because I actually think since Richard Gere did his little dance decorating his shirts with those wonderful ties in American Gigolo, we've become more aware of how men relate to their clothing, you know?
It's true. I think they think that it makes the man sometimes.
But in this case, they're sitting next to a spouse or a girlfriend and laughing like, yeah, I've seen you do that, or oh, is that you, or whatever. And or their mom, you know. There's a wonderful monologue about handbags, a big bag, and how you stuff it with everything and can't find anything. And they're jabbing their girlfriends, you know, that's you. You saw my big bag. The Efrons have adapted different stories, true stories, that relate to these things. There's a story a woman tells, one of our actors tells, about how she doesn't really remember too much about clothing except this one piece of wardrobe that her mother wore, and her mother died when she was only 39. And so it's a very poignant story, very sad story. And there are hilarious stories about a paper dress. Do you remember paper dresses?
Oh, yes.
I do. Do you do?
Yes.
You don't?
No, I don't think
just
I do.
for 2 minutes of time and fashion.
I missed that. I blinked.
There was a paper dress, and one of our actors talks about the paper dress that she had and what happened, this fiasco that happened at the dinner party with her paper dress. And so a lot of the stories are hilarious, and some of them very touching and very poignant, and in some cases very sad. A woman who's coming out of mastectomy, talking about how her mother gave her this gorgeous robe, lacy, white, frothy robe that didn't look surgical, it looked spa, you know. And so all of these stories are entwined with love, loss, and what I wore at the time.
Where did it actually start? Like, who created this? Whose idea was this?
Eileen Beckerman wrote a book called Love, Loss, and What I Wore, and the Efrons thought the idea, the concept of, she was drawing things about memories. She looked at her drawings one day. Okay, back to me in the show. I play that character, Gingy, the writer, ostensibly having written some of these things. So I don't really participate in the recollections so much as I keep telling you about my life. So she's the one character, sort of. And the girls, marvelous ladies, play all different characters. The girl with the paper dress is a character, and the girl with the bathrobe of her mother's, or, you know. So they're all different characters, and then reviews of things that your mother told you about what you wore, which are so funny things, you know, never wear white after Labor Day, and, you know, things that everybody responds to because you heard it growing up. take that off. Get upstairs right now and take that off right now, and take off that lipstick or whatever, you know. So it's nostalgic, it's touching, and it just it hits the funny bone and also the heart.
Speaking of nostalgia, we have to go back to MASH, because you must never be able to escape that, because so many people became so endeared.
Why would I want to escape anything so divine?
You do have you have warm and wonderful feelings about that experience.
I love
you
this.
must.
Of course. Oh, I was singing, yes.
Yes, you were.
My Blue Heaven.
Do you have one standout memory from those years that really kind of...
Not one, no.
It's the culmination and the...
Yeah, there were moments and memories every single day. Look at Gary playing the drums.
Do you keep in touch with any of them still?
My best friends, do I keep in touch with them?
Yes, I guess
that is answered, isn't it?
Well, you know, people don't make that assumption. There are people who can be together for 11 seasons and not necessarily want to see each other ever again.
It was only 11 seasons? It seems like it was so much
years.
longer.
Because it's never been off the air.
Maybe that's why. It seems like it's still going.
Is there another show that's never been off the air like that before?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It went into syndication in year 3. And it's never been off the air. It's like the drink is somewhere. It's going. The sun is setting over the yard arm. Somewhere, MASH is running in this globe, on this planet. Speaking of longevity, the Love Lost has gone into its 3rd year off Broadway, which is a little bit of a phenomenon too, to run that long. And we keep the part of the magic, I think, also is the rotating cast. We're the touring cast. We stay together, but in New York, it changes every month. And so you have a new wave of interpretations, let's say. And we have, I think, groupies coming to see the new cast all the time to see how different it's going to be. Certainly Gingy's character would be different, but it's at the most entertaining evening. You leave inspired and smiling and fulfilled in a very special way. The Efrons are very special writers, and I think they're particularly insightful about women.
Right. Well, we're glad that you could come and tell us that this is in town and spend some time with us. And I want to put up some information so everybody can find out.
You both must be there.
Sounds great.
If you
I'd
don't
love to
come, I will need a
note
from your teacher.
Twist our arm.
Did you hear that before?
I have heard this one before, and I think I might remember what I was wearing too. All right. Love, Loss, and What I Wore is playing at Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts from January 3rd until the 8th, and you can get tickets by simply calling 480-499-TKTS, which is 499-8587.